show, the fast 5 things you need to know. We'll start your day off swirly, it's the toast. I sound amazing.
Welcome back to The Toast, and happy Thursday that feels like a fucking Friday, bitch, because we're fucking celebrating. Jackson Claudia's coming to town. Jackson Claudia's coming to town. Jackson Claudia's coming to town. That's right, we're singing synchronistically because Jax and Claude are coming to town. Hey Jax, how you doing?
I'm doing good. I am in New York City, the big city slicker. Look at me, all black.
Actually, she's tiny. She's a tiny little, fragile little city slicker.
Oh, tiniest.
She can't even see. She's
like too
microscopic.
precious to walk down these streets.
You are too precious to walk down these streets.
I always was. Like, even when I lived here, I was not the elk of New Yorker.
You were not made for city slicking.
And now, like a fish out of water, I'll take an Uber.
I'd never know you weren't a big New York City gal with your all black outfit, your slick back bun. She's cosplaying. She's doing what she does best. She's LARPing as a New Yorker today.
I am, even though I'm a New Yorker, which is so crazy.
You are?
But I never was.
No, not in your true heart.
Even when I was here 10 years, I never was. Also, we're doing something really fun today, which is vlogging our day.
We have such a busy day, you guys. Not to be such annoying influencers.
No, and like influencers and content creators only do like a day in the life when they're super busy.
Which is what we're doing today.
But we're also doing like a lot of interesting stuff. So even if we were this busy every day, I would still choose today to vlog because there's a lot going on. Like we're shooting a commercial.
We're going to be on set, on location actually.
On location. Yeah. We have a guest interview.
We have a GNO tonight.
Right. I'm trying to get my hair cut because I missed my haircut yesterday. If you're wondering my hair looks like this, it's because I thought I was going to have a Pargy blowout this morning and I don't for my big commercial. Yeah, but I'm just going to be a slicker for my commercial. I think it'll be better for the vibes of the commercial.
The creative of the commercial, actually, the role that you're playing is like slick.
Is slick. And you guys are probably wondering, like, don't you guys have hair and makeup for your commercial? No. No, we don't.
That would require us waking up earlier. So we politely declined.
So we don't have hair and makeup for our big commercial.
That's why we look so Pargy-licious today. We have so much to do. Like, we have a Pargy show. Mm-hmm. We also have kind of a inaugural moment here in Toast history. This is Jackie's first time visiting me at our, yeah, that's right, Jackie also pays for the studio, our new studio. You haven't been to the new NYC HQ yet. Mm-hmm. Give me your thoughts. We got her whole reaction on the vlog that we're vlogging, of course, but tell me your initial thoughts.
It's nicer than I expected. I don't know why.
What did you expect?
It just like, it's lighter and brighter and like more Kardashian than I thought. Like,
oh,
you know what I mean? Like,
my God.
The beiges and the pinks, like, it's a very Kardashian vibe. Am I at Kylie Cosmetics offices?
Wow. Okay. I was like a little nervous about you coming because first of all, like you do contribute to half the rent. So like you do have a say in like, and also I didn't want her thinking like I'm, like a rat in my New York City disgusting dungeon studio. So like since I found out you were coming, I've been making improvements. Like I had the wallpaper put up, little things like I got all the boxes cleared out. Like I really wanted you to, respect our NYC HQ because I respect our South Florida HQ.
And now our new one.
Yeah,
so I think it's really great. I don't know why, even when you show me this wallpaper on FaceTime, like it just looked darker. Like everything, just the color of everything is different. It's a very Pargy vibe in here. So it's not like I was expecting to come to a dump, but like part of being in a studio is like you want a dumpy vibe because it should be like dark and quiet. Yeah. And no, it's light and bright, and I'm enjoying my time here.
Okay, she said it's Kardashian.
I did, and I meant it.
We have actually such good stories today. A lot of internet drama, not drama, but like the internet swirlies were making news yesterday.
Yeah, no, my group chats were popping off. I could not keep pace with them because I was traveling, and as I said, like I missed my haircut because my flight got moved.
That's disgusting.
It was just a long travel day, and I couldn't even keep up with my group chats because that's so much that internet was talking.
Yeah, lots was going on. We're going to talk about the Alixes. We're going to talk about Remi on Chloe's podcast, and then some other human interest type stories to get you guys settled into your days.
Yeah,
it's Thursday.
Usually we'd have Summer House recap, but due to all the
travel,
and
the
Claudia
delays.
went out to dinner last night, so it's not just me because Zach actually turned it on the hotel TV. He turned on Summer House, and I was like, no.
Yeah,
Claudia's not watching.
I could have watched it when I got home, but like I'm a pregnant person. I need to be asleep by 9:30, and I did get home at like 9:45, so that was hard for me. So no Summer House recap this week. This week is just like a little where the toast where Jackson Claude in New York City giveth, it also taketh away a little bit.
Yeah, we're not in our routines.
Even though last night was like our episode.
It was?
It was like Craig and Kyle.
Okay, it's been our episode for like 4 weeks, so
I know.
it's kind of like The Boy Who Cried Wolf.
Agreed. But of all the episodes for us to miss, like we would miss this one, but it's fine.
I'm sorry. We were sat for the last 4.
We were sat for the last 4.
I had to move on with my life.
What was I saying before?
What weren't you saying?
Oh yeah, I went out to dinner. I had salmon.
I thought you got spaghetti pomodoro.
I was going to get spaghetti pomodoro, but then I forgot about kind of like a major life event that happened to me yesterday.
Okay.
I went to the doctor for, my visit. And I always, when I go to the doctor, there's like 2 appointments. You do the scan and you check on the baby. And then you go check on you. Well, you go upstairs and you get like your blood pressure, your pee, your weight. And the nurses there are amazing. They're like, we're going to weigh you. And I'm like, okay, I'm going to turn around, take my shoes off. Like, please just write it down. I'm not interested in knowing. And I can't be the only one who says that. They're like, of course. And they've respected it every single time. And they're like always hyping me up. Like, Queen, you look beautiful. Yesterday was no different. Queen, you look beautiful. I said, thanks, Queen. Then I went into like a different office to talk to the doctor. And she was like, you need to get blood drawn. So on your way out, she gave me like this paper. It's like a form that you take to the lab to give to the lab person to be like, hi, I'm here to get my blood drawn. And I don't know why the fuck I looked at it. I never thought for a second my weight was going to be on it, but it was on it. Now, it's also funny because it was like a lot of words on this paper. My eyes found, like I just saw weight. It's actually insane how my eyes were looking for it. And this is the first time I have found out my weight since probably like my first or second appointment. Like, so when I was like 13 weeks, I just decided that I wasn't going to keep up with my weight. Now, if I could do it all over again, I probably wouldn't have not known.
Not to even change the number that it is today, but just it wouldn't
be
have
aware
been so
of it.
like surprising to go from the number you were at before to the number you're at now.
Yeah, and to be honest, like I really had no idea what I was going to be at. I'm like, maybe it's not so bad. And like it was pretty much as like bad as it could be.
How much have you gained? You don't have to tell us your weight, obviously. Like, we're not psychopaths.
Yeah, well, when I went to the family chat to just sort of like say, I was literally crying.
She was crying. She's like, I'm tearing up. Like, I accidentally saw my weight.
And Jackie's literally, she didn't even say like, oh, she goes, what was it?
I need to work with the facts before I can have an emotional response.
So all that to say, yeah, I didn't get the pasta last night, but also because
wow, that's how much it affected you.
No, actually not really. Dr. Fox just keeps telling me I need to eat like more fish and meat. My iron levels are low, so like I was like,
that's because you're so skinny and small.
That's what I thought, right? So color me so surprised when I saw my weight on the form. So when I don't like to eat fish in my house. Like I can only eat fish at a restaurant. Do you know what I mean?
Understand.
So I never go to restaurants. So I was like, you know what? I should have the fish. Don't worry, I also had pizza and like so much bread.
You
I was
need a
fine.
fish pasta.
No, no, I don't.
Yummy.
And so if anybody's like in my position where it's like weight is your whole life and like you've lost a lot of weight and now like you're getting pregnant, you have to go back, I would suggest not turning a blind eye. I don't think it was my wisest decision, but there was so much change, you know?
Yeah.
I couldn't take it on.
Yeah, it's good to know just so that you never see like a jump of 30, 40 pounds. I don't know what the actual number, because I don't know what you were before. I only know like your new weight. So I'm not saying that you have gained 30, 40 pounds. I have no idea.
I wish. Oh God, wait, you're making me feel so much worse. 30, 40, I wish.
How much have you gained? That's not bad.
Stop, no it is.
Just know,
It
like
is.
Kylie gained 60.
It's bad. No, and then I like posted.
I gained 60.
Yeah, I just have some time left, you know?
Yeah.
Well, I posted this whole saga on my Instagram story and like people were very quick to, chime in with their responses. And I just want to say to the people who were like trying to be helpful, being like, I get it, I gained 30 pounds. Like 30 pounds is so not a lot.
And what people don't understand, and I know I'm going to make it worse for us, but you guys need to understand how bad we have it, is that we are short. So
Right.
like Kylie gaining 60 pounds and me gaining 60 pounds is not
It's
the
like
same.
you gaining 80.
Yeah, like I like to tell myself, oh, Kylie did it too, but no, it's so much different when you're short. It's so like, yeah, for short people, you probably gain 30, 40 pounds and that's a lot. When you're in the 50s and 60s, like that's a lot. And and I just want to say like any amount that you gain, because someone's sitting there who's short who gained 80 pounds and you know what I mean? And like,
no, and by the way, that is going to be me.
like, wait, fuck. But every pound you gain is beautiful. That's why not only should you keep abreast just to know so you never see this like stark change, but you have to just make peace with it. You have to make peace with it. Like,
no, I know. And I felt
just know breastfeeding and Ozempic are waiting for you.
I felt like a brat, like being upset about it, especially after like a clean bill of health from the doctor. Like that's all, like the fact that I walked out of the doctor and the thing I was thinking about was my weight, not the fact that like the scan went great. Like it's so, I'm sorry, I'm a human being and like it is what bothered me. And like, that's why I'm crying in the car like an actual 6-year-old. But like I wish I could change my perspective. I can't. I'm sorry. Like, I know what everybody's saying. You're right. Like, Margaret sending me inspirational text messages. Like, I know.
Not Sachi with the wisdom.
I know. Even though, like, I wanted to slap her. She was like, she said the thing that, like, I just hate. You're literally going human. Like, shut up.
Like, she's also on her camera app in the mirror, like,
yeah,
naked.
no, and to be clear, I'm growing a 4-pound human, okay? Like, let's just be real.
I know, but you really have to make peace with it, and I feel like you know that you should, but you actually haven't tried to.
I know that I should, and I actually haven't tried to, 1,000%. I have a lot going on. I'm shooting a commercial today. Like, I just can't. I really can't. And it's just when you're at a weight that, like, you hate so much, and then you finally, like, you fulfill your life's dream of getting away from that weight, which I did, thank you, Ozempic. You think you're never going to return. I, like, turned my back on that number, and I'm like, see you never, bitch. Meanwhile, see you next year.
Yeah, that's so different. It's so different. It's so different.
I know. So that's why I had the salmon. No, I'm kidding. That isn't why I had the salmon, but it wasn't not a factor. I'm gonna try and, like, walk a little bit more. I'm really not gonna.
I feel like you've been healthy though, or do you just pretend like to the family that you're healthy?
Oh, does it come off that way?
Like,
I'm not trying. By the
like,
way, sometimes I do put my
fruit.
best. Sometimes I do put my best foot forward and, like, lie to you guys. I don't feel like I've been doing that. Okay, how do you think that I've been healthy?
Like, I've not seen you like go, like order like a crazy meals, or you don't post like huge amount. Like, you go and you go to the diner, and then Ben makes you dinner. Like, it seems like very balanced.
I thought so. That's what I thought. I'm not hiding anything.
I think you should keep doing what you're doing.
Yeah, except now I'm just, like, really, especially my physical therapist said, like, try and walk as much as you can. So I'm trying to get in, like, 5,000 steps a day, which I think is just good for, like, life, you know? Yeah. But I was having round ligament pain, so I really couldn't. Now I'm feeling better, but whatever. It's fine. Like, whatever.
Yeah,
it's whatever.
Well, thank you for sharing that and being vulnerable. It's actually going to be a theme of today's episode.
I know. We're going to talk about Remi making news on Khloe Kardashian's podcast.
Yeah, I'm happy for Khloe.
I'm happy for Khloe, too. This was a good get. It
was mutually great gets for each of them.
Yes, I knew Remi at some point was going to, like, share her journey, and I was wondering where she was going to do it. And I actually can't think of a better place.
No, and Khloe's a new podcast, so of course she didn't, like, come to mind. But they're friends. Khloe's obviously been through a lot of weight loss and also weight criticism.
Yeah, like being in the spotlight about your weight.
Throughout her career. It was really perfect and, like, so premium. It kind of looks like this because it was, like, very Kardashian.
Correct.
So it kind of looks like this show.
She also is, I can't lie, I haven't watched any Khloe in Wonderland. It just hasn't been enticing to me yet, but that's podcast. Every episode, like, is for everyone else. And I watched Remi's, and let me tell you, Khloe is a very good interviewer because she knows how to listen. Yeah. Which we're still working on.
Critical skill.
Yeah.
And I also finally understood the title of her podcast after also watching Kardashians of last week.
Is it not Alice in Wonderland?
No, it's like, it's all about things she's curious about. So it's like she's in Wonderland, of a land of wondering about things.
Oh, okay.
That's actually kind of party for a podcast because she'll talk, because when on the episode I was watching, she was talking about how she'll have people come on and talk about, you know, anything. The pyramids. Like, please, no, okay?
I've so had enough.
Or how the earth is flat. Please, no. But I felt like, you know, all that stuff, and that stuff plays so well on podcasts. Just like theorizing, conspiracy and everything. All types of different just theories. Wonders. So I put it all together, and it was quite party.
Well, it was my first time watching. It's really high quality. It's funny how the Kardashians, like, invented, remember that photo booth that they used to have everywhere, Murmur? And, like, it was like they were posting these pictures from events on Instagram, and they were so beautiful. And then everybody started getting the Murmur at their own wedding. And whatever they did there, like, they applied to her podcast. Everybody looks gorgeous on it. Their skin, it has, like, this tan filter. It's pargy.
Same with the show. They have they have filters.
They have technology.
We need that technology.
You're telling me after seeing my weight at the doctor's office. Yeah. So the stories are actually really good today. I feel like we're going to have some kind of complex dynamic combos.
Classic us.
So us to be so complex and dynamic.
So without further ado,
where are you?
Where are you?
He's either in heaven or
in the
dungeon in Brooklyn being someone's sex slave.
Sad. Oh, I wonder if I'll see a rodeo while I'm here.
Well, I hope so, because he got groomed yesterday for you.
Oh.
So me and Ben send Romeo to, like, a grooming place. And, you know, you always have doubts when you send, like, your children, furry or otherwise, to, like, a facility. You're like, are they abusing the dogs there? You see these videos online, and you know, every time we go, we just, like, we acknowledge, like, maybe something's happening, and, like, we just need to get over it because he's got to get bathed and his nails. So yesterday I was walking past the place while Romeo was there, and they actually groom them in the window, which I like. Like, you can't be abusing a dog in a public storefront. And I look my head in, and oh my God, he is in love with this woman. And I actually went inside. I should have done this before. I met the woman who grooms him. Oh, she loves Romeo. She's like always doing Romeo. She showed me pictures of him in January. So I felt really good that like the daycare I'd been sending Romeo to isn't abusing the dogs. At least not my girl.
Yeah. Or not your dog.
Yeah, that's so true. Maybe some of the uggos.
Yeah, but Rodeo gets special treatment.
Special treatment. They sent him out in like a little bow. So I wanted him to look nice for you and your family. So you have to come see.
Okay, yeah, and the kids will be excited to see him too.
1,000%.
Okay, we'll make a play date.
We'll set it up. I'll have my people call your people. Ben will call Zach.
Now, without further ado, here are the Fast Five stories that you need to know.
And the Fast Five stories that you need to know are brought to you by Booking.com.
Booking dot.
Yeah, we can do it together. So thank you to Booking.com for sponsoring today's episode of The Toast. Every time we use Booking.com to find a place to stay in the U.S., we know that they're going to have exactly what we're looking for. They have a huge variety of options from hotels to vacation rentals, and we know that we can find exactly what we're looking for. We have found Booking.com has something for everyone, including Jax, who's here on this New York City whirlwind tour. And, you know, tell me, you're booking a trip to New York. What are you looking for? And how is Booking.com helping you achieve those goals?
Well, thank you for asking, Claudia, because I'm looking for a very specific thing. First
She's
of all,
extremely demanding.
you know, I have needs. So first of all, neighborhood. Like I want to be near my coach and near my office because I always am coming into the office.
Because you pay the rent here.
And I'm working very hard at my office. So I, of course, search by neighborhood. And then I need variety in rooms because I need space.
A kitchenette.
A little kitchenette is always a plus. A fridge, a sink.
A family-friendly hotel.
Family-friendly, connecting rooms, all of those things. Right. And Booking.com makes it really easy to find what you're looking for.
They do. We use them for all of our different trips, whether it's family trips where we need a big house, or if Ben and I are doing a little, you know, dink trip, a nice beachfront location, perhaps like a no-kids hotel, something like that. No offense. So find exactly what you're looking for on Booking.com. Booking.yeah. Today's episode is also brought to you by Armra. So Armra Colostrum is really taking the world by storm. If you're looking for something to add to your morning routine that's going to help ignite your metabolism, fortify your gut health, revitalize hair growth, maybe enhance your skin, and then also, of course, fuel performance and recovery. I know it's really popular amongst, you know, the athletic crew, which I used to be a part of, but not so much anymore. Then we cannot recommend Armra Colostrum enough. It's a powder that you pop in, you know, it's a little packet so you can throw it in your purse. Always having one on you is really helpful. So between processed foods, environmental toxins, the stress of just existing in today's world, feeling run down becomes the norm. But once you have the realization that you don't have to feel like crap all the time, there are things that you can actively do to combat it, it will truly change your life. And that's what Armra Colostrum is doing. Your body was not meant to feel this way. And Armra Colostrum, you guys say colostrum or colostrum? Armra Colostrum is nature's original superfood. It's packed with over 400 bioactive nutrients that fortify gut health, supercharge immunity. It can fuel stamina, revitalize your hair growth, help you function at your best once again. Because keeping up with the chaos of modern life is a lot more fun when you have the energy to do it. When you like go through a fatigue phase and then you end up like taking charge of it and like doing proper things like taking Armra, you will realize like life is worth living. It makes everything like work, family, going out to lunch, it just makes it more enjoyable. Like you don't have to be so dead every time you get home. And we've worked out a special offer for our listeners to receive 15% off your first order when you go to tryarmra.com/toast or just enter code TOAST to get that 15% off. That's TRYARMRA.com/toast, tryarmra.com/toast.
Thank you, /tart.
You are just like so welcome.
Our first story, influencer Remi Bader admits to weight loss surgery after months of speculation. Remi joined Khloe Kardashian on her most recent episode of Khloe in Wonderland and shared that she had a brand new, newer surgery, which helped with her weight loss over the last year. So she revealed that she underwent a weight loss surgery that cut 80% of her stomach amid months of online rumors speculating that she was either taking medication or got surgery. She said what everyone online, of course, at this point, everyone online is like, okay, well, she did one of the shots or she did the sleeve or something. No one guessed this. She admitted that she got a surgery called SADI, otherwise referred to as single anastomosis duodenal switch.
She kept referring to it as Sadie.
Oh, I was going to say Sadie.
Of course she did.
Of course I was going to say that.
Anyways, of course you were going to say it wrong.
So the website explains that the Sadie procedure combines sleeve gastrectomy with intestinal bypass to promote greater weight loss.
It's a form of bariatric surgery, which we all know as like gastric bypass, the sleeve. This is a different type of it.
It creates a tube-shaped sleeve as well as separating the top part of the small intestine to below the stomach before reattaching it to the bottom part of the intestine. So basically she got 80% of her stomach cut out.
Yeah, and so I watched the episode. She spoke a lot about, like, before she even said that, like, I had surgery, she wanted everyone to understand, like, how she got to the place that she did, which I appreciated because she found herself in, like, a precarious situation where she became, like, the face of the body positive movement. And she has said in this interview, and I know her personally, she said it to me, but she says it in every interview she does. She's like, hi, I'm not body positive. Like, I don't love my body. I actually hate my body. So when you become the face of, like, you're supposed to love and accept yourself and then you do something drastic to change it, she's received a lot of criticism for that. So her sitting down and like really explaining it with somebody who gets it was very smart. Now, I think people are kind of committed to misunderstanding and just disliking the fact that she did this, because I've seen a lot of like people just making TikToks about it, and they hate that she did it, you know?
Yeah, it probably feels like a betrayal because she was like, even if she didn't want to be, but she was like the face of this movement for them and felt like a role model. But even following her at the time before she had the surgery, like, and she shared even more about her poor health status on Chloe's podcast. But even you could just see in her videos, there were days at a time where she couldn't get out of bed
because of her back,
couldn't walk.
her knees,
she had like multiple back surgeries,
sleep apnea, and then so that's the stuff we knew and she shared. But stuff that she didn't share, that even as her friend I didn't know, was that actually when she one of the things that really drove her to make the decision to get the surgery was that she was told she was becoming infertile because of her weight, and that was something like she never expected. But yeah, like sleep apnea, she, you know, if she fell or something, it really I know that she fell and her knee gave out. So there were days where she couldn't walk, and then she just has like genetic and hereditary back issues, which were exacerbated. So she was like, you know, a 27-year-old girl who had two back surgeries. Like that's not, you know, a normal place to be at. So she very much said like, my weight was the reason for my declining health at 27 years old.
Right. And I think that just followers of hers without like having inside knowledge could see that it wasn't like this amazingly positive thing all the time that was like really weighing and negatively impacting her quality of life.
Yes. And her relationships too. She had spoke openly about like her romantic relationships, but also her relationship with her parents, like, because they were really worried about her, and like there's really no way to say it in a good way,
and in a way that the person wants to hear, and is like, thanks,
we've all been there, like, so it just was impacting and so she spent the first like 30 minutes of the podcast just really letting people know what her life was like before, just so like, I think, to deflect any sort of criticism of her decision to do it. Now, people are going to hate regardless, but she really wanted people who were open to understanding her journey to get that. And I feel like she did a good job. Then she shared the actual surgery process, which honestly sounded horrible. So she happened to have had like it's a decent recovery, and she, like, everything that could go wrong did. So like, you're supposed to feel sick for a couple of days. She was sick for 6 weeks. She had to move home. She like couldn't take care of herself. Throwing up, just really, really like bad and hard. And she was also then like freaking out, being like, what the hell did I do? Like I changed my body, and now I feel, and I'm having an abnormal reaction to it. Did I just ruin my life? Like, am I going to be in the hospital for the rest of my life? Which I didn't even think about that part, but like that must have been a bug out, right? Yeah. Like, you made this huge decision. It seems to work for everybody else. You've never heard that other people are in the hospital for, you know, weeks at a time. And like, did I do something wrong? So then that's like the panic of that. Eventually, like she said also when they cut her open to do her stomach, they found that she had a really fatty liver, so they had to do like other things. And now, like the person we see now, so she said it's been a little under a year, she's lost 140 pounds. The person we see now who's like so, feeling so good, looking so good, like that was not the reality for the majority of the journey. And that's part of the reason why she didn't share.
When did she start to feel better? Was it 6 weeks?
I feel like it was like 2 or 3 months.
Okay.
And I remember like at the time, like watching her content, like you could see like her quality of, like, she was home, her quality of life was really not that of someone who is, you know, successful and young and in love. And it was just, it was crazy to watch.
In her relationship.
She was still in her relationship, but he really like didn't know how to take care of her because it was so crazy. So she moved home.
Yeah. Okay. I mean, I know that they ended badly, but that feels like,
no, I mean, I wouldn't know what to do. Like, it's crazy. And so the backlash, of course, has been swift. And kind of the recurring thing is like, well, she should have been honest. She should have been open. She shouldn't have told people that she was body positive, and she shouldn't have told people that she did this with diet and exercise. And to be clear, like, she didn't. She didn't say that she did it with diet and exercise. She just never.
She just ignored it.
She just ignored it. And as somebody like who did something similar, like when my weight loss was becoming obvious to people and they would like start commenting Ozempic, like I blocked the word Ozempic. Like I wasn't ready to share it yet. And so I come from a place of like complete understanding. Like I totally side with Remi. Like not only does she owe nobody anything, even if she was like the most body positive face of the movement, she still doesn't know anyone anything about like her own private medical journey. And the fact that she did share in her own time, like I do think will ultimately benefit people, because she's not coming on here like endorsing the shit out of the surgery. She's not being like everybody should get bariatric. She was being like, it was really hard. It wasn't what I expected. Now I'm at a place where I can look back fondly on the experience, but at the time, like it was not, they say it's like the easy way out, right? She was like, it was not.
How does she feel now, though? Because, like, yes, the recovery was hard, but it seems like the whole thing, this is even like inadvertently, an endorsement of this surgery, because she looks amazing. She sounds happy and healthy, and like that she's, able to really enjoy her life now.
Right.
So even though obviously it's hard and you go through a lot, this does feel like an endorsement, whether or not she's endorsing it.
Well, she maintains that like this place that she's at now, where we're all seeing like a much happier, healthier version of her physically, mentally, job-wise, she really maintains that like it's not all due to the fact that she lost weight. She did other work on herself, therapy, obviously getting out of the relationship and then being heartbroken for the first time. Like she feels like she's on the other end of like a bunch of things that have all contributed to this like newer version of herself. But I think that she feels if she says, and this is just me guessing, I think she feels if she says that, it's all due to the fact that she's thin now, it's like definitely a betrayal to
the community,
but also like something that I know she really believed in and believes in when she was building her platform.
Yeah, but I feel like you had the same thing, because you were so positive. Like,
but I feel differently. Like, and this is where I don't necessarily relate like word for word to her experience. Is like I didn't find myself really unhappy in my life as a plus size person. I just hated the way that I looked. Like I came at it really, to be honest, from like a shallow point of view. And so, yeah, you don't want to admit when you lose the weight that like it really was this thing, that like it was the thing,
Yeah.
And so, but for me, like, I don't know, and you could probably speak to it, like, is my personality or my disposition very different, big or small?
No,
like my mood and my level of joy.
Actually, I've not really thought about it, but like, kind of like you've always been a happy, funny, positive person, but like you're down for so much more. You're saying yes to like you.
I'm
never,
more open, 1,000%.
Like you never would. You were more like
cautious,
like curmudgeon-y, like
curmudgeon-y,
just everything's a bad idea. I don't want to do this. I don't want to do that. And of course, like there's a bunch of.
It's so funny because like I look back, I'm like I was so happy.
No, but when the thing is, at the time though, like you were so positive and so happy, but now after the weight loss, it just opened up another like
category
door of like, and now you're so 360. Like even though I agree with you, at that time you were so happy, but we didn't even know how much happier. You're just a happy person, and you could be even happier.
I guess it's like I think some people find themselves at a place where they're really unhappy with their weight, and it affects other facets of their life, whether it's romantic relationships, career opportunities, different things. And I maybe I'm wrong, but I didn't feel like I got to that place, and that's something I'm like proud of, like that I was able to work on myself and really like be in a good marriage,
and like have positive mental health, and you always had all of those things, but then it just got even more
crazy. But not, I realized that I think that I'm unique in that experience, because it's really hard not to let your weight just like take over your entire life. So when you come out of it, you don't want to say like it was all my weight the whole time. But I do think in the future, like when Remi looks back on this, I do think she will see that like it was mostly
more the weight than it was
anything
the working
else.
on herself,
or the heartbreak.
Even a year ago, like she's always been like a mental health advocate, always has been like working with people and working on her mental health. So what's actually the thing that's changed in the last year is
the weight. I think that like people are really critical of her choice to do it on Chloe's podcast, which I think was brilliant.
I agree.
And I think probably made her feel really safe. Like Chloe's such a nice person, and they have a personal relationship.
And Chloe's been through dramatic weight loss with everybody's eyes on you, telling you you're too skinny.
You're doing
you
it
did
wrong.
it wrong. Like you left us in the dust.
There is no right way to lose weight as a person who was popular amongst the movement of body positivity and plus size. There's no right way to do it. People are going to feel betrayed. They're going to feel left behind. They're going to feel jealous. People from the skinny, and Nikki Glaser just did a great bit on this on Ozempic on Jimmy Fallon, just being like, skinny people hate it because like now we're all equal, but like you've had to work more on yourself.
Yeah, like you have a great personality.
You have a great personality too, and now like we look the same. So there's no people are going to criticize it. Like I got so much backlash when I didn't. Like now I don't even care. Like I would do it 15 times over, and I would wait double as long to tell everyone. Like I don't care because I found like myself in a good place, and at the end of the day, that's what matters. But all of this is really new to Remi. She's not like an OG influencer. Do you know what I mean? She's like a TikToker who took off during COVID. So I think like I have a lot of sympathy for her because you know you get hardened the longer you do this, and she's still relatively new to it, and that movement, that community, like they can be brutal, especially when you leave them behind. I was a part of it too. Like you feel betrayed when like one of your favorite fatties leaves you and the community because you loved to see somebody like fat and successful and happy and healthy and rich and you saw like, oh, that could happen to me. Mm-hmm. And then when they leave, like I get it. It's really disappointing, but like I feel like people are being really unfair to Remi.
Yeah, I haven't seen the backlash.
It's on TikTok.
Right, I'm sure. But this is a person who's healthier and happier than she was before, and I think that's something that should be celebrated. And
Agreed.
if she needed to, if she didn't tell you when you wanted to know, I mean, clearly she had 140 pounds in a year. Like that's dramatic weight loss. Like you can use some deductive reasoning that like she's had some sort of aid, and also just like trust your faves that she will tell you when she's ready. So and if you can't trust that, then she's not your fave.
That is what people are saying, and I'm so glad you just said that, being like, well, it's misleading to let people think that you lost all of this weight with diet and exercise. First of all, Remi never said that. She just didn't answer. She never said that she did. And two, like if you're low-key stupid enough to think somebody could lose 140 pounds in under a year, diet and exercise.
When they were struggling so
their
much
whole life,
and then one day just a switch is like a flip.
The internet ain't for you. Like you're dumb. Like, where's the personal accountability? And people always like, you're misleading your audience. Who are these dumb people? It's always like generic. What about the young people? Go talk to your parents. Like, it's not Remi's fucking job. Yeah. She's just trying to live her best, like, healthiest life and get through it, you know?
She's not a nutritionist. She's not your dietitian. Like, if you
and
were
she
really
said that
like
at the beginning of the episode, she's like, before I dive in, she gave like a whole.
Of course, no, but if you were really looking to Remi to like validate your life choices and like eat what Remi eats and do what Remi does, look in the mirror. Like that's not a healthy way to be on the internet.
Agreed. It's not good internet behavior.
Like we're just following people passively. Like we're here for a good time. Like we're not.
It's not
gonna
that
put that much
serious.
stake in it. Yeah.
Agreed. So congrats.
Congrats to Remi. Very happy for her. Mm-hmm. Our next story, a little more influencer news, a bit of an update because Earle says that she can't podcast for the foreseeable future. So Earle did a little GRWM, and she's
ready with me for all of our Gen Xers
in the beginning. She said, I have to put a pause on podcasting right now for the foreseeable future. Don't really want to get into the details of it all. And I kind of can't get into the details of it all right now. But I've loved it so much and I'm really proud of what I built with the podcast. Instead of dropping new episodes, she said that she's going to be pivoting to vlogging on YouTube. I'm laughing because this is like what we just said she should do.
And I'm so glad like she listened. I don't know if it was like, I thought it was kind of obvious. So people being like, Claudia, she heard your episode. I don't think so. I think like she came to the conclusion on her own because it's like kind of obvious.
A logical conclusion. She said, I don't want to leave you astray and not leave you with anything. I also think I would lose my mind. So good news is I'm going to be putting out weekly vlogs for this foreseeable future. She just dropped a vlog of like her family's spring break at Universal Studios. And next she's going to do Ultra Music Festival in Miami. The only thing that's confusing about this that maybe you can explain is she said, I kind of can't get into the details of it all right now.
Right. So she said that like she's not podcasting anymore because she can't. And she can't tell us why. So it was giving like legal dispute, battle, unwell, intellectual property. So of course, the comments are like, what did Alex Cooper do to you? So much so, I guess it must have been overwhelming because I feel like Alex Cooper does not respond to stuff. Like there's always things being said about like the show and network. And she kind of lets everyone speculate. It's like a good strategy. But she put up an Instagram story about this, which I was so shocked because she doesn't respond to anything. And it was basically like, guys, I'm seeing all your comments about like Alex not podcasting, just letting you know, like her inability to podcast has nothing to do with unwell. Like we're settled. You know, I gave her her IP. I learned from the best at Stool Presidente. She tagged Dave. Just being like, please excuse me from this narrative. So I don't know a reason why Alex would be unable to podcast.
And that she can't get into the details of it all
if it has nothing to do with unwell.
I don't think it has anything to do with unwell because we did hear that she got the IP weeks ago. And so they're goodbye. I guess, like, I don't know why they didn't just know that instead of bothering Alex Cooper about this.
Yeah, but I think that it was the only logical reason. Why else?
That's what I'm asking.
So I don't blame people for thinking it had to do with unwell. Not gonna lie, I thought the same.
You did?
Yeah. Even though we know it's been squared away for sure. why else would someone be unable to podcast?
I have to put a
Like
pause.
maybe she had a non-compete. Like, I don't know what I thought, but Alex is like, no, this is nothing
Maybe
to do
like
with
I'm
me.
not able because I
don't want to. Right. And I don't think she should podcast. I think it's a waste of her time and energy. I think
Even though she just did that episode with Bethany and it was like really good.
yeah, but that must have been like before all the drama went down, like pre-recorded perhaps.
I feel like it was that week of
Bethany
Carbone.
drama. Yeah. I don't know. But why would you like put all this effort into like a big podcast if you're going to cancel the next week?
I don't know.
I think the situation is fluid, honestly.
Yeah. But it could just be like, I can't podcast right now because I'm tired and my mental health is suffering and I can't do it.
And I wanted to look up how it was performing. I watched a little bit of it in the
Bethany one?
No, her new vlog, like compared to Hot Mess.
Universal Studios?
Yeah, okay. So her personal YouTube channel, which is relatively new, has 125,000 subscribers. Hot Mess, which she was updating, weekly, is at 270K. Now, I do believe she owns that channel, but she's posting her vlogs on Alix Earle Personal. And 14 hours ago, she put up this Earle family vacation. It has 36,000 views.
Okay.
We'll see.
We'll see.
I do think that her content, because she said she's going to Ultra next week, I do think stuff like that would perform better than like spring break with your little siblings, which is so cute and I love it. But that's not what people know her for. It's like a fun fact about her that she has this like huge blended family and her siblings are so cute and she goes home to New Jersey and they have like, cows and stuff. But I think in terms of like what people go to her for, it's like to see her get ready, party with her friends, do like cool makeup, cute outfits. So I think the Ultra, because the vlog before this, which was 2 months ago, is Vegas Girls Trip and it has like 200,000 views.
I think they should have a reality show. I know you want her to be a vlogger, but I just feel like someone should be following her with a camera. She shouldn't always be holding it.
Working so hard and like editing it.
Yeah.
Yeah. There are endless opportunities for Alix Earle.
Yeah.
I'm not worried about her.
I'm not either. And I'm waiting on my St. Mark's order to arrive.
Right. Code Alix.
Is that the code?
I don't know.
Code toast.
Code toast.
Okay. Are you ready for our next story?
I am.
Disney Snow White drama
Oh my
fiasco.
God. I'm so over this movie.
Okay, you were never not over it.
I know. I was never going to see it, but let me tell you, I love that song. Oh, whistle while you work.
By the way, why wouldn't I have seen it? I've seen every other live action.
Snow White is not.
It's a movie musical. It's made for me. And because I never like got into Snow White growing up, like this would have been my time.
Right. It's not like a Disney fantasy story that like I follow. I don't even know like why is she hanging out with dwarves? Like I don't know the plot.
Yeah. So the fact that this is performing so poorly and that I have no interest in seeing it, like, is actually crazy. It's Mark Platt, so he's
So
wicked.
I didn't know that. I didn't know that Ben Platt.
either.
So Ben Platt is a nepo baby. It's like the bane of his existence. He's like one of those nepo babies in denial. And I just want to say, like, you're extremely talented and a nepo baby. We can hold
You can
space.
be both.
And his dad is like this big time producer. He actually produced the Dear Evan Hansen movie. And he's been in the news a lot recently. He was a producer on Wicked. And now I didn't realize he's a producer on Snow White. And I find it really interesting that he keeps doing these movie musicals and not casting his son. Either Ben Platt like really doesn't want to be connected to his dad and have like obvious nepo ties, or like they have beef or something.
One, he doesn't want to be, he's so like
Proud.
he's a self-hating nepo baby.
Yeah.
Like he doesn't want to do anything that his dad is tied to. And two, his dad does like kind of commercial cliche sort of my favorite kinds of
Me
things.
too.
And Ben Platt is so artsy, he probably looks down on this sort of like commercial big budget blockbuster.
Totally.
He's like, no, I want to make no money.
Yeah, totally.
I want to make $0.
And I do feel like Ben Platt's other siblings, and we're going to talk about one of them today who's a part of this story, have recently been, like, they're not obviously the level of celebrity. He's the most famous person in the family.
Who's the other siblings?
His name's Henry. I follow him on TikTok. He has an amazing voice, like really
Henry
party.
Platt, I never even heard of him.
I know, so there's like a bunch of brothers, and they're all sort of like up and coming now. Jonah has a podcast that I see a lot. Actually, he's going on The Good Guys soon. They recorded a couple of weeks ago. I'm like,
He's
oh.
perfect for The Good Guys. I see his podcast a lot because it's all about being Jewish. And he also had Mark Platt on his podcast. His
Oh, did
dad,
he?
Yeah, because they were talking about they were just talking about Judaism. So they're obviously close because also so this big bombshell report about the Snow White fiasco came out
It's
in
bombing
Variety.
at the box office. There's been rumors about Rachel Ziegler and Gal Gadot. A lot of politics. The Free Palestine movement is involved. So they did like an official Variety article on it.
Yeah, like Gal Gadot has been getting death threats. She has like insane security paid for by Disney over
good.
the course of like the
Well,
filming.
not that she's getting death threats. That Disney's paying for it.
Oh yeah, over the course of like filming and post-production, Rachel Ziegler has made a lot of comments that have rubbed like literally everyone the wrong way. Like
About Gal, about the movie, about Disney, like about everything.
about Free Palestine, like a Trump supporter, like everyone.
Oh
she's
yeah,
pissing
I
off
remember
everyone.
her Trump one. Her and Ethel Cain being like, "I hope terrible things happen to all the people who
right after
Yeah,
the
yeah, for
election."
sure.
So like that's not good when
She's
you
really
want
crazy.
when you want people to come see your movie.
Yeah, right. You're especially like a commercial big
Right.
Disney project. Like you're supposed to be.
You don't want to
for
alienate
everyone.
more than half the country. That's just
It's
not
a
a
really,
good move.
it's a really specific type of project and a specific type of like PR that you have to do for this type of blockbuster. Because these are movies that get played all over the country. It's not like an art film. It's not like a New York, LA thing. So you really need to be like of like you're supposed to be a Disney princess. You're like of the people, you know?
Yes.
Think of the people who go to Disney and love Disney. It's everyone.
Yeah, she also like was making fun of the plot early on, saying like the movie's so dated, 1937, and
She's
85.
not going to be saved by the prince.
He was like low-key stalking her. Like seriously painful quotes. He's like, why would you be in this movie that you hate so much?
But you don't have to take it.
And I do think that the end of the live action film is like, you know, not him and her. It is wokeified. Like it's like she saves them all and it's like a communist utopia.
To be clear, there is a way to do it. Like I think that we make fun of it all the time, but the way Emma Watson did Belle in Beauty and the Beast, she didn't want to be like damsel in distress, Stockholm syndrome. She technically falls in love with her captor, for sure.
She technically falls in love with an animal.
So Emma Watson at the time,
I just want to say, if Emma Watson could do that, who was like so radically
feminist,
if she could not only make Stockholm syndrome with an animal work for her, this girl could make Snow White work for her.
Yeah, like at the time, she contributed different things to the project that she wanted to like modernize it a little bit while, you know, keeping the integrity of the story intact. And she's very like female focused. And so I feel like the way she did it didn't change the quality of the movie and didn't rub people the wrong way. Like I agree with her. Like, yeah, hike up your dress because you're a mechanical woman. Like,
and she like used the sheets to climb down the window because she's so industrious. Like, okay, great, yeah, sure.
And she was like, her dad was like the industrious one, but like he was dumb and she was smart.
No, and
like,
she like learned from him, and like, you know, women can be a lot of things, and she does her own laundry with her horse.
And
like,
there was no drama.
Yeah, and there was no drama, so it can be done. So this is like drama abound. She's posted like over like years, like a lot of things on social media and said things in interviews that have rubbed everyone the wrong way. Then most recently, I think her and Gal were actually fine during filming. That's what I read. But then after they presented at the Oscars, Rachel Ziegler said something about Gal, how like she's always a professional pageant queen, like just like something like nasty like that. And so now they're not speaking, they're not doing press together. They didn't even have like the red carpet press event.
There was no premiere.
And then, so this report also said that after one of her many social media posts, one of her outbursts, Mark Platt flew from LA to New York to talk to her. They had to get like a social media consultant to work with her and vet all of like everything that she was going to post in the run up to this movie so that, you know, she wouldn't send away more fans.
Right.
So she had to have a talking to. So someone commented on something of Jonah Platt saying, your dad flew to New York to reprimand a young actress. Any words on this? Because that's creepy as hell and uncalled for.
And I just want to say,
people have
like,
the right to free speech. No, shame on your father.
Like, go comment that on Mark Platt shit. Like that shit bothers me. Like leave Jonah alone, first of all. And I'm sure
Jonah was ready.
Oh, Jonah was ready.
I'm glad she commented on Jonah's.
Well, me too.
Jonah responded.
We got an insight. We got window. Like Mark Platt, like they don't fuck around.
Jonah said, you really want to do this? Yeah, my dad, the producer of an enormous piece of Disney IP with hundreds of millions of dollars on the line, had to leave his family to fly across the country to reprimand his 20-year-old employee for dragging her personal politics into the middle of promoting the movie for which she signed a multi-million-dollar contract to get paid and do publicity for. This is called adult responsibility and accountability, and her actions clearly hurt the film's box office. Free speech does not mean you're allowed to say whatever you want in your private employment without repercussions. Tens of thousands of people worked on that film, and she hijacked the conversation for her own immature desires at the risk of all the colleagues and crew and blue-collar workers who depend on that movie to be successful. Narcissism is not something to be coddled or encouraged.
Not the blue-collar workers, like...
Not the cast and crew.
And you know that was like
drop.
read, edited, and approved by Mark himself.
I actually don't think so, because there was like kind of some grammar things that like weren't perfect.
But I think messaging-wise, like I don't think Jonah would like share things like feelings about this when it seems like him and his dad are really close. It seems like the whole family's really close. And I know Ben is hating this story.
Oh, hating.
Because Ben really toes the line. And I feel like when we were talking about October 7th, he was someone we were really disappointed in, who's like somebody who's...
I think I've told you guys, like, I don't like Glenn Platt.
Yeah, he's like openly Jewish. He loves to like use Jewish shtick on his like Instagram, and it's like a part of his personality. And then when like, you know, Jewish lives and futures are at stake, like he's nowhere to be found. And he's putting
like,
out
tail between his legs
statements being like holding space for two. He literally said it in a serious way. And because I think he really toes the line of like, sure, I'm Jewish, whatever. but I want to be
Everyone to
accepted
like me.
in these, you know, artsy fartsy circles, and it's a little, you know, it's as I look down on it. I'm not gonna lie, I do.
Yeah.
But his
Meanwhile,
family,
Jonah comes
right?
in,
His family's
big
clearly not
balls.
like that. Like with the podcast,
Yeah.
they're clearly not like that at all. They're clearly like very proud Jews, and you just know this story's making him sick.
Yeah, for sure.
Not only it's like no, the other brothers are like getting attention too now.
Is Jonah Platt straight?
He is. He has a wife.
Oh, I was gonna say Satchel.
Yeah, no, I think he's married. I'm like almost 100% sure.
Henry? What about Henry?
I think he's gay.
Okay. Is there any others?
Let's see, Jonah Platt siblings, first of all. Ben Henry, yeah. And Jonah Platt wife. Yeah, he's married.
Cute.
To a girl named Courtney. She's so cute. Look at her.
Oh, cute.
Yeah. Galliano. Is that Italian?
Yeah.
Cute. They've been
Okay.
married
Yes.
since 2016. They got thanks Gemini. They got married at the Saddle Rock Ranch in Malibu.
Oh, Pargy. So
She was a
anyways,
dancer on a series regular, Hit the Floor on VH1. And So You
go
Think You Can
girl.
Dance.
Go girl.
Yeah.
So the Snow White stuff is really a disaster, and I actually feel like Jonah Platt saying something now like doesn't even matter because like the movie has bombed.
It's over,
It's
yeah.
over. Like there's nothing he can say that's gonna make it get better or worse.
And then there's the whole dwarf thing too.
Oh yeah, well that's the whole movie in general. Like really from top, like from the inception, like has just made people upset. But also it has like the lowest rating of any movie on IMDb. It's made like no money.
But the crazy thing is that like I know nobody has seen it, but the people who have seen it said it's really good.
No, I've seen the people who have seen it say it's really bad. I've been seeing like clips of like some of the CGI of like Gal Gadot like drinking some potion and then like running down the stairs, and it seriously looks like from the 80s.
The
Like
criticism I heard is that like, you know, of course they have an original song as they always contribute, and sometimes the original songs really do blend in. You forget that it wasn't one of the originals.
Evermore.
The one that they made is really not good. Waiting on a Wish, like it's really
How do you
bad.
know all the music?
I'm on TikTok, like I know everything.
Honestly, like it's actually this is a boycott that's hard for me. I want to see this movie.
I know.
This is my favorite kind of movie.
I know.
Like Beauty and the Beast is one of my favorite movies.
And to be clear, like every time they do a Disney remake, they always modernize it a little bit, and people always push back, and there's like stupid drama about it, but it never really affects the overall. Like years later, we're like, oh, that was amazing, and like it always just works itself out. Like I feel like what was the last one? Little Ariel, what's it
Little
called?
Mermaid.
Thank you. Like there was John, she's black, she can't be, she's a mermaid. Like so stupid. You know, the movie was amazing and everybody
yeah,
loved it.
everybody loved it.
Like there's always like a kerfuffle, but it's just like
and
internet.
I feel like that could have been what happened with the dwarves.
But this is different.
Yeah, this is different because people are boycotting the actress, and then of course people, you know, Free Palestinians are also boycotting Gal Gadot. They won't see
Right.
her. They won't play her in countries
It's
because
a
she's
Spider-Man.
Israeli.
Like nobody knows who to boycott.
Yeah,
And I'm
So-
just not seeing it because like
I just like need to ask Gal, like, do you want me to see it? I want someone like to make me. Maybe
I
should
feel
also
like no,
see it
I
just
think
to,
Gal doesn't want you to see it because the thing is, if this movie fails, which it does, it really doesn't have anything to do with Gal. It has to do with like the radical
Rachel
20-year-old
Ziegler.
Rachel. So yeah, I feel like it flopping is no stain on her record, Gal.
Then what's next for Rachel Ziegler?
So she's really unique because they call her like Rachel Berry. Like she is fucking insufferable. Even before this, there was like I saw like a super cut of like all the annoying like things she's ever said. She's like in her bathroom being like, and I hope when my time comes, there are lines of people waiting for me. Like she's
Rachel Berry,
she's
yeah.
so horrible. But she's undeniably like talented. She really is, I think, one of the most talented singers out in the Broadway theatrical space right now. So like there are she has an upcoming role. It's like a big one. What is it?
Upcoming.
Yeah, like they cast some musical and she's already in it. What is she doing next?
Let me go to her,
Her
IMDb.
IMDb. Rachel Ziegler next movie. Come on, Gemini.
No, I'm not seeing anything.
It's hard to find anything.
Oh, all credits, not.
What movie is Rachel Ziegler starring in next?
Oh yeah, Gemini.
Oh yeah, it's not a movie. She's doing Evita, Ava Perón, in the West End. You know the Madonna song. Come on, whatever. It's like a huge Broadway role.
Okay, cool. That's good for her.
Yeah, she's perfect for Broadway, the small
Yeah.
screen.
Yeah.
I'm kidding.
Yeah. And honestly, like I feel like she was also in West Side Story, which I
Yeah.
don't think
Well, then Ansel Elgort ruined that movie. She's kind of like a curse.
she is. And she was also in Hunger Games prequel, which I only learned recently. And I think it did
it
well.
came and went.
But I didn't see it.
The thing I saw about that movie was the Olivia Rodrigo song that she wrote for it. Like, that was the biggest part. Yeah, no, she's not like a hit maker.
Yeah. How many flops do you get before they're like, okay, you're out?
I do think theater and music, like, you're more often to flop than not. Do you know what I mean? Like, it's a niche category.
I don't know, these big movies.
But these big ones.
Big movies fail, they take on so much money.
West Side Story was like Steven Spielberg, right?
Yeah.
You know, I wouldn't say it flopped. It was nominated for like Oscars and
No,
stuff.
commercially,
It wasn't huge. I agree.
Are you ready for our next story, our fourth story?
If it's our fourth story that's brought to you by Saks.com, perchance.
Yeah.
Shopping at Saks is pargilicious. That's what the copy says, and I can attest to that. So there's so many fun and inspiring ways to shop at Saks. If you're looking for instant inspiration for different work trips, vacations, what else are we shopping for? You're going to a music festival. Are you coming to see your little sister in the big city? You need more city slicking type of clothes. Saks.com is the best place to shop. Let me tell you, it is so easy to shop in terms of like great edits and great just categories, filters to shop on. You can really find anything from like beauty, gifts for him, her, something for yourself. So if you're also just looking to like cultivate a new vibe, I feel like the seasons are about to change and like we're all becoming new versions of ourselves. Shopping on Saks.com is really great because it's a great place to find up and coming designers before everybody else. I feel like anytime I've like been new to a certain like style or brand, I found it at Saks.com, not because I'm like cool or anything, just because like the people who designed their website like are cooler, and you're gonna find like I found this great Danielle Guizio skirt for the Eras tour that like everybody wore after me, so I was such a trendsetter. And I just can't really stress how pleasant the online shopping experience is. It can be overwhelming, especially at like a big store, to know where to start. And I feel like their categories, their filters, their different designer options are really great. So shop Saks.com. You won't regret it. It's Saks.com, Saks.com. Today's episode is also brought to you by Rocket Money. The start of the new year is the perfect time to get organized, set goals, and prioritize what matters most. For us, a top priority is financial wellness. As you guys know, I'm kind of in my cutting back era, and Rocket Money definitely was the catalyst for that. Especially because with Rocket Money, they are going to show you all of your subscriptions right in one place and help you easily cancel ones that you forgot that you've been paying for. They also pull together all of your spending across different accounts so you can clearly track your spending habits and see where to cut back. So I did the subscription thing like solo, not with Rocket Money, like a year ago. Let me tell you how many I missed. When I did Rocket Money, I found out I was paying for 2 different Amazon Kindle Unlimited subscriptions. Like, so frustrating. Of course, you guys know my Furbo saga. Rip. So I cannot recommend it enough. And that really spiraled me into like being my frugal queen. Like, you know, you guys know I have like a lot of big expenses coming up, and Rocket Money was like one of the things that I was like, you know what, this is going to help me. So you can see all of your subscriptions in one place. You can look at their dashboard. It'll give you a clear view of your expenses across all of your accounts. You can create a personalized budget with custom categories. You can get alerts if your bill increases in price. They will even try to help negotiate lower bills for you. So they can automatically scan your bills to find opportunities to save. It's a personal finance app that helps you find and cancel your unwanted subscriptions, monitor your spending, and then help lower your bills so you can grow your savings. They have over 5 million users, and they have saved a total of $500 million in canceled subscriptions, saving members up to $740 a year when using all of the app's premium features. So cancel your unwanted subscriptions and reach for your financial goals faster with Rocket Money. Go to rocketmoney.com/toast today. That's rocketmoney.com/toast, rocketmoney.com/toast.
Thank you, /Turt.
You're
Next
welcome.
story, some legal news. Kim Kardashian will testify in the trial for her $10 million Paris robbery. So Kim will testify against the Parisian underground gang accused of coordinating her infamous 2016 robbery, TMZ reported on Wednesday. She is set to travel to France in May to take the stand nearly 10 years after being bound and robbed at gunpoint.
No, it's not 10 years.
In her hotel room in Paris.
What was that security guard's name?
Pascal. I was actually just thinking about him, maybe because I saw
this
this
news.
He
was like a famous bodyguard.
He was like a famous, and he did a lot of people, mostly Kim, but like
30.
you would just see him like pop up.
I mean, he was no Shango.
He was no Shango, and that's what happens
when you leave Shango behind.
With Shango.
I can't believe, like, we think the American judicial system is slow. Like, this is really crazy that the trial starts 10 years later. I know she like has to, but the fact that she has to go and testify when I'm sure this is like the worst, she does not want to go back physically, mentally to this place. But justice must be served.
Horrible. 12 of the 17 suspects were ordered to trial in 2021, and then the trial was set 4 years later because it did take some time to like identify who the people were.
Right. It was like a big gang of not just one person.
Right.
That was like such a crazy. That's one of the biggest, I would say, like pop culture moments of the last
That was so crazy.
That's like one of those things where like you remember where you were when you found out.
Yeah.
And every time she talks about it, like she doesn't talk about it a lot. Except she did talk about it
This season when she was talking about her like
diamonds.
And she was also just talking about the way that she responds to things, like her calmness that like they always said was her superpower, which has turned into like a numbness to anything going on in her life. Because she just started therapy, and the therapist was like, obviously one time in your life, like you experienced something and you reacted calmly and that really worked out for you.
Yeah.
Like, what do you think that was? And so she was telling Chloe, and she's like, so I'm trying to like think like from like, what was it? And Chloe's like, your robbery.
Right.
You were calm, and that worked well. And ever since then,
You made it out alive.
And she was like, oh yeah.
That's so funny.
And like they were like literally like trying to figure it out.
She also referenced it, what was it, with the Ambani wedding, just talking about how she used to like, after Paris, she was like, I'm giving up all my material items. I don't want to wear jewelry anymore. They cut to that thing of her on Ellen being like, that stuff doesn't matter to me anymore. And then they cut to her in India, like wearing $7 million worth of diamonds. But
yeah.
those were rented.
No, they were rented, but also it's been 10 years. So yeah, 10 years ago, she didn't want to do that. People change, like you heal, hopefully, and maybe you can go back to enjoying some of the things that you used to. And I'm sure she does it all differently now than she did in the past.
Oh my God, testifying, like in any case, like testifying sounds horrible, but like when you're the victim.
Yeah, and when it really seems like she's healed, because it was like, so for a while right after she wasn't seen anywhere, didn't do anything, but then she even said like for years, like she didn't want to leave the house. She didn't want to she had anxiety about going out, about people knowing where she was. Like it really plagued her. And I really feel like now it feels like in the past, like I don't know how much it affects her day-to-day life. I feel like less than ever. And so to now go back and relive it, like I do feel really bad for her.
Yeah, I agree.
So hopefully justice will be served.
I also feel like it changed the way every public figure interacts on social media and just like with their fans and how much information they put out about themselves and their family. Like, I feel like we were just having this conversation offline. Like when you can see, like you really don't know with like real celebrities who actually like are threats get made. Like you never know where they are at the time. We always are now finding out after. And I feel like when this thing happened to Kim, like everybody tightened that up even more with like how they're posting. They never post in real time. They wait till they leave the country before announcing. You know what I mean? And I feel like a lot of it had to do with Kim.
Yeah.
Because like not in any way to victim blame, but like they used her social media because she was sharing like what she was wearing, what the diamonds were, where they were from, and where she was going. And she was like, I'm home now, you know, like posting in real time, kind of giving a map to bad faith actors.
Yeah.
And so people really like don't do that.
Mm-hmm. Agreed. Are you ready for our fifth and final story? Little travel news.
I'm so ready. I requested this story.
United Airlines flight to China was forced to turn around after the pilot realized he forgot his passport. So a United Airlines flight from LA to China had to turn around 2 hours into its journey after the pilot forgot his passport.
And thank God it was only 2 hours.
Right.
Because I just want to say, like, we can joke, and Jackie made a hilarious joke. Like,
I was like, Ben's the pilot.
Ben's the pilot.
Ben as a pilot.
And it's interesting that, like, this doesn't happen more, right? Having said that, I think the fact that they turned around is really crazy. Like, it's literally not the past. Like, everybody here has plans, paid money. And so, yeah, if the pilot, because he's dumb, has to land and then turn around, like, that's really not everybody's problem.
Yeah. And then
if it was a flight attendant, like, if a passenger forgot their passport, would they turn around?
But you can't even get on the plane without your passport as a passenger when you're flying international.
Right.
So I feel like that should go the same for pilots and crew members, and I feel like it does. Maybe just they forgot to check him, and it was the same day he forgot his passport, because otherwise this would happen more often.
Yeah. I just feel it feels unfair, honestly. If I'm a passenger, I'm so fucking annoyed.
But okay,
you
say
spent
he
4 hours
lands
on a plane to go nowhere.
He lands in China, and he just can't get off the plane.
Well, you can be at the airport without a passport. They hold you at customs. You got a snack, you know.
Yeah.
But they would send him home, and that's called the consequences of your actions. But no, now all 300 passengers have to suffer financially, emotionally, because
they got back, and a new crew took over to take them to their destination, so they didn't have to wait for him to go home and go get it.
Okay, but it's still, it's an extra 4 hours on your on an already
I'm not
long
saying
flight.
it's nothing. I'm not saying it's
Let me tell you, if
nothing.
that's me, I'm so fucking annoyed.
Yeah, they were provided with meal vouchers and compensation.
What, $11? Oh, did you see January Jones? I meant to send this a story.
No.
She's making news using her social media, complaining about, I believe it was United Airlines.
Because her pilot turned around because he forgot his passport?
No, she had like some drama, like, you know, a delay, and they offered meal vouchers to everyone, and she took to her social media to be like, really, United Airlines, meal voucher for... January Jones calls out airline for their response after a 16-hour flight delay.
Do better.
She says, do better. So on Sunday, She shared a screenshot on her Instagram stories of a flight delay details that showed a 16-hour and 25-minute delay for her trip. And then alongside the image, she told United Airlines to do better. A couple $15 food vouchers ain't going to cut it, she added. Our 7:30 p.m. flight last night still hasn't left. Now, she showed a follow-up image of her resting on the floor at the airport. Now, if this is my friend from college, I'm with her. I'm like, yeah, fuck United Airlines.
Yeah.
But once again, another celebrity falling into the trope of using their social media to complain to customer service about usually an airline. It's never reading well for me.
Well, being somewhere for 16 hours, like
Horrible.
that's horrible. And I understand like you want to complain about it and you want to like tell everyone like what's going on with you. And I feel like she can still post this, but the tagging of United and being upset about $15 food vouchers, like that's where you lose me. Like she could be like, oh my God, 16-hour travel delays, worst day ever.
Yep.
Get me home.
Yep.
I'm so mad.
Yeah, for sure. No, it's the complaining about and she, by the way, if she's just a regular
she could
passenger.
even be like, ugh, at United. I would be okay with that.
Yeah.
But like you're upset about $15 food vouchers. Like
imagine how the people who aren't on TV feel.
Right. Right. Like
imagine how the poor passengers feel.
So this is like, she's so close to being safe that
Yeah.
like I'm not gonna go so crazy. Like
No, we didn't make it a story.
right. But like, stop it.
Stop it right now.
Yeah.
It's just also one of my least favorite things. Like whenever a celebrity complains, like they're never wrong. Like if I'm a regular passenger, like that's annoying and it's wrong and the company should do better. But like you were on like the longest running, most successful TV show of all time. Like take a private plane.
No, or like you could go have a meal at a restaurant.
Right.
Like,
I don't feel bad for you.
yeah, and then this is, you call them when you land and they give you like 1,000 million miles.
Correct.
That's how it works.
Don't forget to call when you land.
That's how it works.
Those were good stories. Thanks, Jax.
Oh, you're welcome. Yeah, I guess we're all done here.
Yeah. No
Is this
summer house.
Nasafi?
No.
It's feeling like Nasaf.
No, I think it's like a Narafi. Nice
Naraf.
regular.
Okay.
That's our show, you guys. Thank you so much for listening to the Toast Millennium Morning Show. We deliver the fastest stories in each every Monday through Friday on YouTube. So watching us on YouTube, please subscribe, please give a thumbs up. Also, Earle's podcast, favorite podcast, we found Spotify, Disney, Public Radio. I already got Socks all the please listen to podcasts. A 5-star review about how beautiful, stunning, and wickedly talented we are.
Love ya. Bye.